My name is Walter Hartwell White.
Walter White, also known as Heisenberg, went from a normal high school chemistry teacher to a drug overlord. In the show Breaking Bad, he's an intelligent chemist who uses science to his advantage, making his mind his most powerful weapon. After being diagnosed with stage 3 lung cancer, he became afraid of dying and leaving his family with nothing. So he decided to use his skills to manufacture methamphetamine. What made Walter special was that his meth was the purest on the market, with a purity level of 99.1%, making his product nearly perfect. Although he started out doing it for his family, he slowly became more violent and power-hungry, killing anyone he saw as a threat and manipulating the people around him. His partner, Jesse Pinkman, was the most vulnerable to his control. Walt pretended to care about him, but in truth, he used Jesse as a tool, someone to manipulate and control. Despite all the lies, deaths, and destruction, Walter still convinced himself that he was a good person, even when the damage was irreversible. By the end, Walter was no longer a man trying to survive cancer. He was a criminal who lost everything he once cared about: his family, his relationships, and even the money he earned. Walter didn't break bad. He was always bad, deep down.
You're goddamn right.
Thanos. Thanos, the Mad Titan, went from a survivor of a dying world to the most feared being in the universe. In the Marvel Universe, he's a powerful warlord with a twisted sense of mercy. After witnessing the fall of his home planet, Titan, he became obsessed with the idea that overpopulation would destroy life across the universe. His solution was terrifying: eliminate half of all living beings to save the rest. What made him truly dangerous wasn't just his strength, it was his beliefs. He believed mass genocide was the only path to peace. When he set out to gather the 6 Infinity Stones, nothing could stop him. Not gods, not heroes, not even his own family. He sacrificed Gamora, the daughter he claimed to love, just to achieve his goal. When he finally snapped his fingers, half the universe vanished, making all the heroes turn to dust. After this, he retreated, believing his work was done. To him, he was a savior, not a villain. But his peace was built on death. He took away choice, freedom, and life. In the end, he wasn't a misunderstood hero. He was a villain who thought he was. Light Yagami. Light Yagami, also known as Kira, went from a top student with a strong sense of justice to a ruthless mass murderer. In the anime Death Note, he's an intelligent teenager who discovers a mysterious notebook that can kill anyone whose name is written in it. At first, Light believes he's delivering justice, using the notebook to rid the world of criminals and create a better society. But Light, using his mind, used it to his advantage. He used it like a weapon, staying 10 steps ahead of everyone trying to catch him. He killed anyone who stood in his way: detectives, FBI agents, even people who were innocent. His greatest threat was L, a genius detective who nearly exposed him. Light pretended to be his ally, all while planning his death. Everyone around Light was a tool to be used, including his own family. Even after all the lies, murders, and manipulation, Light still believed he was a hero. But by the end, he wasn't fighting for justice. He was fighting to maintain control. He lost everything: his humanity, his morals, and eventually, his life. Jigsaw. John Kramer, also known as Jigsaw, was once a civil engineer with a quiet life. But after being diagnosed with terminal cancer and surviving a suicide attempt, he saw the world differently. In the Saw series, John didn't see himself as a killer. He believed he was helping people appreciate life by putting them through brutal life-or-death games. His victims were often people he saw as ungrateful, immoral, or wasteful, and his traps were designed to test their will to survive. Jigsaw never killed directly. He gave people choices, even if those choices came with unbearable pain. What's twisted was his philosophy, as he saw suffering as a path to redemption and death as a consequence of failure. People like Amanda Young and Detective Hoffman were drawn into his ideology, becoming killers themselves and helping Jigsaw. In the end, John Kramer wasn't a man trying to teach lessons. He was a man who needed to feel powerful, no matter how many lives it cost. Eren Yeager. Eren Yeager isn't your average anime protagonist. He starts off simple enough: a kid who wants freedom, who's sick of living behind walls, and who swears to kill every last Titan after watching his mom get eaten alive. But as Attack on Titan moves forward, Eren's logic takes a darker turn. At first it's about survival, then it's about revenge. But eventually it becomes something way more complicated, because when Eren finds out the truth that Titans aren't the real enemy, and the world beyond the walls wants his people dead, he doesn't back down and instead decides the only way to protect his people is to destroy everyone else. To Eren, freedom is everything. And if someone threatens that freedom, even if they're innocent, they're a part of the problem. That's why he starts the rumbling. He unleashes massive titans to crush the entire world, killing millions in the process. Not because he's evil, but because he truly believes it's the only way. Dexter. Dexter Morgan isn't your typical serial killer. By day, he's a forensic blood spatter analyst for Miami Metro. Calm, polite, almost invisible. But by night, he's hunting other killers, ones who've slipped through the cracks of the justice system. Dexter doesn't kill for fun. He kills because of what he calls the dark passenger, an urge he can't ignore. But thanks to his adoptive father Harry, that urge was shaped into a code. Only kill those who deserve it. When the show began, it was almost noble. A monster taking out other monsters. But the more we follow Dexter, the more the cracks show. He isn't just doing this for justice. He's doing it because it makes him feel alive. Over time, Dexter tries to be human. He gets married, becomes a father, tries to live a normal life. But his darkness doesn't disappear, and slowly the code starts to crack. He makes mistakes, kills the wrong people, and when it came down to protecting his secret or saving someone he loves, the bodies kept piling up. Dexter never wanted to be evil. He wanted to feel normal, but in the end, he was still a killer, and no code could change that. Homelander. Homelander is the opposite of a superhero. To the public, he's perfect, strong, charming, patriotic. The leader of the Seven. But behind the smile is someone dangerous. He wasn't raised by parents. He was raised in a lab, taught to be powerful, not kind. Loved by millions, but never taught how to love back. Homelander doesn't save people because he cares. He does it because he wants to be worshipped. He needs constant attention, loyalty, and fear. And when people stop clapping, he shows who he really is. Violent and unstable. He played the hero well, but over time, he stops hiding. The threats become open and the murders become public. He doesn't want to protect the world. He wants to control it, and he'll do whatever it takes to stay on top. Joe Goldberg. On the surface, Joe Goldberg seems like a nice guy. He's kind, quiet, and well-read. But underneath, Joe is hiding something darker. He doesn't just fall in love, he fixates. Joe studies people, follows them, and creates ideal versions of them in his mind. When real life doesn't match his fantasy, he manipulates it until it does. To Joe, every action has a purpose. Whether it's breaking in, lying, or killing, he tells himself it's all justified, all in the name of love. If someone gets hurt, it's because they were in the way. He believes that he's the hero in a world full of villains. But real love doesn't come with cages or body counts. He's tried to kill all of his past lovers, showing that he likes killing more than love. Joe Goldberg isn't a romantic. He's a man with a twisted mind, believing that love is an excuse for murder. If you made it this far, comment down below which character you think has the most twisted logic. And thank you for watching. See ya!